What is going on, everybody? Welcome to part 8 of an ongoing series where I talk about what I would do if I made the next Animal Crossing game. My name is Blaze, and thank you so much for stopping by today. Today is it's been a while since I did one of these videos, and I wanted to kind of do another one and bring up a couple of ideas that I had for a couple of different things. One's kind of a new idea, and then one is also an elaboration on an old idea. So I'll get into that at the end of the video, but. Today I want to talk about a character that you really don't get that much interaction with. Of course I'm talking about Joan. Joan is the boar who sells turnips on Sunday mornings. And if you're like me, you know, I tried to do the whole turnip thing, and I just had a hard time. Because turnips, you have to check the turnip prices twice a day, and I just didn't have time to do it. So I ended up not talking to Joan at all. And I don't like that. I want to be able to interact with that character and all characters in the game. So I wanted to kind of expand her role and give her something to do other than sell turnips. She still will sell turnips, but she won't necessarily come to your town. So let me kind of get into the game here and show off what I'm talking about. To illustrate my points, I'll be using City Folk again, as always. And this is an old kind of experimental town that I kind of played around with for a while. So right there on your screen is Joan. It is Sunday morning in this town. I may have done some time traveling, but I wanted to kind of get Joan on the screen here in any way that I could. And of course, this is what Joan looks like if you've never seen her before. So I'll keep her there for a minute. But this is, so she comes to your town every Sunday morning and sells turnips out of her backpack. And she's been doing it for, about 70 years or so. Pretty cool character. I like how nice she is, and I like the way she looks and everything. So I wanted to give her more to do. So turnips are kind of a vegetable, and earlier in one of the previous videos I mentioned selling vegetables, or not selling, but growing vegetables and growing more fruits and growing new things in your town, and cultivating parts of the land to make like a little garden and things like that. So the rule that I want to give Joan is I want to give her a way for you to get more of those items. So I'm gonna go ahead and go to the city real quick in this game, because I don't go there very often. I don't play this game very often. So I think the city is kind of a cool place because you can have different like city type things. And in one of my previous videos, I talked about how you basically are on an island, and you'll have your main street. You'll have, you know, maybe you won't have the main street at all. Maybe you can build your own main street somewhere by relocating certain buildings or whatever you want to do. But I still want there to be a city, like a city type area. And in my idea, you'd go talk to Cap'n, and you have the choice of either going to the island or to a different like secluded island, or you can have your choice to go to a city, much like this one, a port town, a busy port town. And to me, I think that would be pretty cool. So, in the port town, of course, you're going to have things like Gracie or Happy Home Academy, and it'll probably look very similar to this, and maybe be a little bit bigger or expanded upon. It doesn't have to be huge, but something more than you have in your own town. Here we've also got Shampoodle. Of course, that's part of your retail now, or part of your Able Sisters now. And they could separate it again and bring it back to the city if they wanted to. But let's give Joan something to do. So my vision is that on one of the sides of the town, one of the sides of the city, Joan will have her own stand, and that stand will sell farm food, vegetables, fruits, all kinds of things. So on a regular basis, Joan will cycle some of the things that she sells out. So just like it is right now in New Leaf, you start the town with a fruit in your town, a native fruit. That fruit is pretty easy to get. It's not difficult. But you'll also get a vegetable in a series of vegetables that are pretty easy to get in your town when you go to your little city type thing. The cool thing is that Joan will cycle out what she sells. So one day she might be selling carrots, the next day she might be selling cabbage, the day after that she might be selling pickles or cucumbers. Who knows? Like she'll always sell something different, either every day or every few days or once a week. Um, she'll also kind of give you the option to get more, to get like random seeds. Like she might say, hey, I have these seeds, I don't know what they do. Do you want to grow them for me and then bring them back? For doing this, she'll give you some money, and then she'll give you some kind of like points, some kind of like farmer's market tickets or something that you can use for other stuff later on. Maybe she has her own furniture series or something. But primarily, I want her to sell fruits and vegetables in a farmer's market type vegetable fruit stand. And I want that to be in some kind of a port town, in some kind of a main street or city type setting. We don't really have anything on this side, so she could definitely be over here. But I think that would really give her some depth and a reason for the player to go see her more often than just on Sunday mornings. She would still sell turnips, but she would stay in her stand. Sunday mornings before noon, she would have her turnips laid out, and you can buy the turnips. After noon, she would change out to a different fruit or vegetable. She would recycle. She would cycle some of those things out on a regular basis. So let's say it was every 3 days. So maybe one day she's got carrots and she has them for 3 days, and then 3 days later she cycles those out to something else. You can buy the seeds to grow your own stuff, or you can buy just flat out the vegetables that you need. And this would tie into cooking as well. So I wanted to kind of elaborate on a new idea I had for cooking also. So sometimes you're going to need certain ingredients in order to get certain types of food cooked the way that you want them. And Joan would play a pivotal role in that, being able to sell you carrots or sell you cucumbers or sell you peppers or some kind of a vegetable that either you don't normally get in your town, or that you're having trouble getting in your town, or something that you just want in order to make a certain recipe. Different times of the year, she would sell seasonal items. Like during the fall, she would sell yams and pumpkins and things like that. And she would basically just be a kind of a central location for the player to go and get some ingredients. She might even sell cooking ingredients like vinegar or milk or salt and pepper, things like that too, but doesn't necessarily have to sell those things, just kind of an idea. But once you get those ingredients taken back to your town and you have what you need to cook, I mentioned in a previous video that cooking would work very similar to Breath of the Wild, in that you take up to 5 ingredients, put them into a pot, or put them into like what I'm trying to say, a kennel, I guess, not a kennel. Put them into I guess we'll just say pot. Put them into a pot, and then you come up with a recipe, with either a disaster, a terrible meal, or you come up with something that actually is good. So you'd utilize fish, you'd utilize fruits and vegetables, you'd utilize ingredients like vinegar and salt and pepper, and you'd utilize ingredients like cucumbers and peppers and things like that. And you could have these really elaborate meals. Some of the recipes would be harder to understand than others and harder to figure out than others. But the more that you cook, the more you'll kind of figure out what ingredients will make what food item. And then once you make something for the first time, it ends up in a cookbook type thing. So you actually have a cookbook now, where it's kind of like how you have the bugs and the fish encyclopedia. This is kind of the same, where you have up to like 50 recipes that you can make, and every time you make a new one, it's added to your encyclopedia. Of course, you can jump online and find all the answers if you want them, but again, some of the ingredients are harder to get than others in your town, so trading becomes a primary activity in the game, trading with other players. And then also visiting Joan as often as you can to get new things is another priority, another activity that you'll have to complete in order to get all the recipes and all the ingredients that you're looking for. So, I don't think Joan should have her own cooking shop. I don't think that she should have her own restaurant. For me, I think that's probably reserved for someone like Gracie or even just a whole new character. But I do want her to have a pivotal role and a permanent place in the Main Street Port Town area, where when you visit this area, you can go see a show, you can go buy some things from Gracie, you could check out the Happy Home Academy, or you can go in here, the auction house if you want to. I couldn't remember what that was. Maybe Shampoodle comes back there, you know. But primarily, you know, you'll always have Joan with her own farmer's market stand as well. So that's kind of the basis of what I was trying to say today, is basically just that Joan would have a more pivotal role in the game and be able to play a larger part, a larger role. As a character that you don't really get to see that often anyway, you know, it's definitely something I think would help to get to know her better, and to actually to interact with her on a more regular basis. I also want to kind of add to that as much as it is cool to have named characters in your town, I want them all to be in your town at some point. I very much want to be able to do quests or missions or requests for those people. So as an example, Isabel, if she ends up running your town hall, or she ends up running your museum, or wherever you decide to put her, you can still talk to her as if she was a regular villager. I think that would actually, you know, make sense. And even in the town, even in the port town or the city that we were just in, some of those people that you interact with on the regular basis in that city would still ask you to do things for them. They would still ask you for, hey, I don't have any oranges. Can you bring me some oranges? Oh, sure, I've got those in my town. Let me go get them. And they would give you different types of rewards depending on who they are and what the request was. But just kind of an idea as far as what types of things I'd like to see in the next Animal Crossing. This is part 8 of that series, so I'm going to have the links to part 1 through 7 in the description. So definitely make sure to check those out if you haven't seen them yet. I also do Animal Crossing live streams on Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Eastern. So if you like Animal Crossing and you want to see what I've done with my towns, definitely stop in. I've got a couple of different towns I'm working on right now. And if you see any villagers like Chrissy here that you like, let me know in the comments who I've bumped into today that you think is a cool villager. And if you have any thoughts or anything you'd like to add to the idea, definitely hit me up in the comments below. I'm gonna try to do more videos like this. I have a hard time getting up the nerve to do it, so any support you can give me in the comments or in the like button or the subscribe button will definitely help me move that needle. So it'll motivate me to do more. So definitely hit those buttons. Thanks for checking me out today, guys. I will be back shortly with some more information, some more ideas, and more Animal Crossing related content. So thanks so much for stopping by and hanging out, and have a great day.